How's it going, guys? Everything going all right in there?
Tony Reyes, founder and executive director of Mission 911. Well, I was a office manager for Office Depot, and I was working for 13 years, and I went on a spiritual retreat called Curcio, and I gave up my job. I just quit. Before my lifestyle, I really didn't care for people in poverty, and God changed my mindset and my heart to start caring for people in poverty. When I stumbled to this building, a buddy of mine that owned it says, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "I don't know, but this building is not being used for what it's supposed to be used for." So I told him I wanted to purchase it. And he says, "You're nuts." This was bad. This place was bad. I mean, it did not look anything like this. There was, walls he could push and they would sway. It was terrible. Since we've been here, in these last 13 years, crime has dropped 35%. People now look at this place as a safe haven, not as a place to run away from the law, but maybe run to get help so they can empower themselves. So we opened it up. That was in 2000. We moved forward, started a nonprofit, and then we started helping individuals, men that were struggling. That's what we started out with, men that were struggling with homelessness, and we found a shelter for them. This is where, we have bunks for the men. They're responsible for it. As you can see, they're very neat, and it's a place where these men can get to know each other and start respecting. Now, have we had struggles? Absolutely. When you get a group of men together and they don't know their backgrounds, everybody's going to set their boundaries. But after a while, they start realizing that working together is the best thing to do. Then I started realizing it's more than just shelter. They keep messing up. Why do they mess up? So I started asking questions. What's going on in your life? And they said that everywhere they went, they were treated like a number, not a person. And that hurt me. Can you imagine walking around life being treated as a number, not as a human being? So I started helping them in a spiritual sense, in trying to encourage them, trying to strengthen their morale, their self-esteem, so they can maintain jobs, and then also find them a place here so they can find it as home. And this home they can have a model when they have their own place. They can branch out and maybe show others how to live as well. Well, we're connected to MHM through our grants through Keys of Life, okay? And that is an ongoing partnership that has helped us to branch out in this community. And when you're talking about keys to life in someone's individual lifestyle, there's many keys. And they have to make sure that those keys are put in the right doors to open. And that's what MHM has helped us, to partner up to others so we can make sure that that person can put that key of an opportunity and open the door and whatever they may need in their life. If it's spiritual, if it's health needs, if it's education, or if it's even with their mental status, that we're giving them an opportunity to open those doors. And I thank MHM for partnering up with us because it has empowered us. This is where the men will, once they come from a bunk setting up to an apartment setting, this is where they start moving forward.
This is an interesting situation because I'm a missionary to Mexico, and while I was living in Mexico, I was constantly looking for avenues, places where we could go and support through physical work and labor. And everywhere I looked, there was Mission 911, Mission 911, Mission 911. It's like, who is this place? So from Mexico, I called Tony, and I said, "Hey, Tony, I don't know who you are. I'm not from Corpus Christi, but everywhere I look, I find the name Mission 911. So for 2-3 years, we came here to Mission 911 and did work projects here. turn of events in my life, found myself needing a place to live. And I came to Tony and he said, Edwin, I told him everything going on, and he said, if you need anything, of course, we will make room for you. I understand the homeless percentage is pretty high here in Corpus Christi, but I do praise God. I do thank God for Tony because I did not have to spend one night out on the streets.
If somebody comes in here, maybe they're struggling in poverty, and maybe why they're in poverty is they can't pay their electric bill or their rent on time because they have some medical needs that get involved. So what we do is we partner up with Amistad, and we ask them to maybe go to Amistad to help them with their health needs, and then we can help them with maybe their utilities or their rent if we have funds, so we can empower them. We find that the majority of the people are really in Social Security benefits, and it just doesn't stretch. I mean, a person that's single, they get $800. Some get $650. How can you live at $650 on a monthly basis? And then not only that, that you're not allowed to work, because if you work, your benefits are cut. So, you know, they're in a catch-22. So what we try to teach them is how to stretch out that money, how to budget, where there are different resources and the partners that we may have to help them so they can break that poverty cycle. Maybe they're struggling with an addiction. So we're able to help them with the partners here in Corpus Christi to help them break that addiction. Maybe it's counseling through one of the partners of MHM that we can partner up with them and help them with their counseling needs or parenting needs that we can refer them to. This is for the men that live downstairs. They're responsible for this. So this is their place, and they keep it neat. They have food there. We got a refrigerator where somebody donates food for us. We can bring in food. The men here do it on their own. They cook. Maybe we have a couple of men here that work at restaurants, so they know how to cook, so they'll end up cooking for everybody. We also give out clothing here. We help them with clothing. So, you know, anybody that donates to us either clothing or household goods, if the individual on Tuesdays and Fridays, whatever they may need, they can get up to 10 items and take whatever they need. And this is our clothing closet. And this was built by a bunch of youth groups. People come and look for clothes, and we just try to help them out. You know, different kids put different signs on here with boys, girls. You know, the person that volunteers here was being helped at another organization, and they came here looking to do community service, and they stayed, and they say, you know what, we love what we're doing here, we want to do this, continue doing this. So they've been doing it, so it's really a blessing. Each summer we have over 400 youth groups come down here to help us in our mission, and these men and women share to them saying, we walk the lifestyle of addiction, or a lifestyle of breaking families up, or being disruption in society. Don't follow our path. There's other ways that you can go and help yourself. You can make a difference. So we have these youth groups that get inspired, and we have handprints all over the wall where kids have come and say, we want to be part of this mission. And they just leave their handprints there. And it's a constant reminder to the men that are able to see that. Methodist Healthcare helped us with washing machines and dryers, and that makes them feel good. Can you imagine after working so many hours, or just even walking the streets, and you just have these dirty clothes, and they might be your favorite clothes, and you have nowhere to wash? Well, at least we have an opportunity for them where they can wash. If people think that people in poverty are sloppy, people in poverty have no care for others, that's not true. If you care for them, they'll start caring. We also have a dental office that we have volunteers come in, and they will help with their dental needs. And the men that live here help out in that. They may be assisting the dentist in whatever the dentist may need. So all this is on a volunteer base where we're able to help individuals. This is our dentistry office. This is where our volunteers come in. We do it 2 Thursdays a month, and we just try to help individuals with their extractions, or maybe they have a cavity that needs to be filled. Our volunteer dentists do that. If you look at our guys here at the mission, you would never think that they're homeless on the streets, because now they have come to a point of saying, I'm not, and they live that way now. So we're indifferent in that sense, because that person doesn't want to live or see himself in that lifestyle again. So there's a different look that they have, and you saw it in Paul. Paul was homeless. Paul has looked at this place as our home. So
yeah, that's where I did when I was gone.
This is Paul just completed his driver training. One of the persons that we helped out, he came in here single, father, hadn't seen his family in 10, 12 years. He came in here and he wanted to change, but he couldn't. But after working with him and talking to him and helping him with spirituality, one day he made up his mind. He says, I'm going to change. I'm going to do what I need to do to broaden myself and quit being so self-centered and live in this pity pot, and see what I can do to help this community. He changed his life to the point that he got reconnected with his wife, and they're now together, reconnected with his daughter, reconnected with his son. He volunteers here now. He's also on our board. He's on the board of another organization that we helped him with. He makes crosses here. One day that his daughter came in here in a car, and she was waiting for her dad to come out, and I just introduced myself, and she says, thank you. I said, thank you for what? She goes, I never got to know my dad, and now I am. I got to know my dad. And not only as a dad, but as a father. He's helping me in my struggles, and I'm moving forward. You cannot put a definition on how you feel about when your passion is fulfilled with rewards of success of people. You just can't define that. It's just unbelievable. Our approach is we want to show that A, we care, and B, that if you're willing to work on a solution, there is a solution in your life. We don't want them to come in and say, oh, Mission 911 is just a place to sleep, because it's not. That's just one of the things that we may offer. The biggest approach is, I'm coming to Mission 911 because I want to change my life and I want to move forward.